Monty, you are remarkably well-rounded in the sense that most teams that are great at something give something else up. It doesn't seem like you do. Like if statistically you look down your numbers, I think you're rate 4 factors ranking like 18th is the worst you are in anything. What allows you to be so complete across the board?
Gosh. I mean, I think the roster makeup with veterans who've been in good programs. We have good players. You know, we try to teach good things. I don't think any coach in the league teaches anything bad. You know, I think all of us do our best to try to give our players a competitive advantage. But I think we have good players. We've had young guys who've developed a lot faster than we thought they would. It's just players, man. I mean, we try to encourage a culture and an atmosphere where guys can be the best version of themselves, but we try, just like every other coach in the league.
You've done something in regards to players. You've done something unique. At the end of your bench are guys in the last few years that have played, have experience. A lot of teams are, I don't know if the right word's fearful of that because it's not easy to manage, right?
Yeah.
You have guys who play who suddenly not playing. How have you been able to navigate those waters and manage that a roster that last year at least had 15 guys that have all been rotation players at some point in time?
I mean, I don't know if it's the answer that you're looking for, but I try to be honest with guys when we talk to them in the summer and just let them know, like, this is the situation. You may not play. And if you can't deal with that, then you probably don't want to come here. For the most part, to James's chagrin, I try to talk guys out of coming because I don't want them to have to deal with that. You know, these decisions to play guys and not play guys are life-changing. And try to be honest with guys about the situation before they bring themselves or their families. And, you know, thankfully we've had guys get on board anyway, but I just want them to understand, you know, who we are, what we're trying to do, the guys we're developing. And sometimes guys come and, you know, maybe a couple of them haven't.
Coach, just to follow that up though, on a season like this where COVID, the importance of having the kind of depth that you guys have, because the Alphas want to play, Jalen's want to play, the Hombos want to play, whereas maybe in another time you bring those guys in and they wouldn't play, it would be more frustrating situation for them possibly.
You didn't ask me anything. You just said a bunch.
Well, just the thought of having the depth and how important that is in situations when you bring a guy in. With the way the season is going, how much did that play into those guys getting those opportunities?
I mean, I think, you know, James, we talk about the kinds of guys that can handle it for sure. We try to identify players that we feel like if they don't play, they'll be not okay with it, but they'll be able to manage it mentally. At the same time, it's just good to have, you know, those kinds of guys. We're no different than Utah. They have the same kind of depth. If you look at the top of the West, that every team's made up that way. I think they have high character guys with a level of integrity that understand we're trying to win. Decisions aren't personal. For me, my style is to just tell guys straight up what the situation is so they have an idea, especially when you got a wife and kids. You know, these are life-changing decisions. So I kind of want to let them know before they take a kid out of school or kids out of school, that kind of thing. I just think that's important. That's what I would want as a player. And I think every player just wants to be told what the deal is.
And then just with James getting the extension, just your thoughts on that and getting that contract extension.
I was happy for him. You know, anytime you can hang around as long as he has, that's a huge accomplishment. He's earned it for sure. The decisions he's made, the culture that he's established has certainly put us in this position where we are. And I was grateful when I heard about it. I'm glad to be in this position where I get to work with him and coach the guys I get to coach. But it starts with James. He's just been great for the city of Phoenix, great for the organization. It started way before I came. You have to lay a lot of groundwork and foundational principles before you make the decision to bring a doofus coach in like me and change the roster the way that he's done. So that part is, it's a great reward for a lot of work.
How much is the mutual respect that you all have for each other? Because I asked him about hiring you, and he was like, he makes me look good. He makes me look smart. How much does the mutual respect lead to the way this is going?
I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time measuring those things, I just, every day you come in and you try to do the best you can for the people around you. I've just been around long enough to know that if you serve people around you and put them in a position where they can be the best version of themselves, you may get to, have a good time and have some success. I don't spend a lot of time measuring those things. I think we both just try to do the right things. I make more mistakes than anybody because of my position, but I think my intentions are to help people and do the right thing.
Why do you think he is so good?
James? Oh gosh, I don't know. You guys are coming with all the deep questions today, man. Holy smokes. I mean, if you look at his career, he was in Indiana with guys like Reggie, and a lot of times your career trajectory is dictated based on the vet you're around when you come in. And I think that was a great start for him to learn the league in that role. And then when you're around as much winning as he's been around in Miami and Cleveland, you learn a lot, and along the way you make some mistakes, but he's relational. James is not easily offended. That's probably his greatest skill. He just, from players to anyone in the organization, he doesn't get easily offended.
There's certain people that are worth asking questions.
You guys are hitting me hard today, man. Like, holy smokes.
Finish with 2 on Zoom. First, Kelvin Olson with Arizona Sports.
Hey, Monty, to follow up on that and hopefully not get too deep here. I just remember the sense from you and James when you were hired in your introductory press conference that you were just excited to work specifically with him as well, not only to get to work, but get to work with him. So I'm curious how that relationship is strengthened over the last 2+ years and just what it's been like now with this many seasons under your guys' belt to work with each other on a daily basis.
I mean, we talk a lot, whether it's at the practice facility, on the phone, sometimes at my house. And it's not always about basketball. Both of we have young families to a degree. I have older kids, but some of his kids are in the same stages as my young kids. And so we talk a lot about that. And I think that builds equity when we have the same challenges away from basketball. And I've always respected James. I mean, I've said it before. When we were in Portland, when I was an assistant, we had Jawan, Andre Miller, and James. Those guys helped change our program. And that stuck with me, his professionalism and all the stuff that you guys know about. So I think our relationship has grown just because it's more than just basketball for us. We both are like-minded, but we're very different in a number of ways. And I think we appreciate each other's differences. He doesn't mind that I like to go to Texas and fish and get away from everybody in Phoenix for a while. He actually encourages it for me to get away so I can go catch a few bass and do my thing. And, I really appreciate that stuff.
Last will be Gerald Bourget.
Hey, Monty, nothing deep at all for me. Just wanted to check how DeAndre is progressing and ask about JaVale, if that was more of a precautionary thing or just something that kind of flared up in the last game.
Yeah, with JaVale, it flared up the night of our last game. And, he wanted to come. That's just who he is. I felt bad for him because he just works his tail off. every day, and he was working after the game, just staying in shape, and then goes home and has a flare up. So we just decided to, be cautious with him, and DA is, he's still day to day. We'll have a better report, hopefully this weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.